Breed me or banish me. Alien woman's desperate plea shocked the human, but he took her in silently. The desert winds screamed through the broken canyons of Dorathus V, carrying with them the sting of iron-rich dust and the scent of dying things. Beneath the blood-orange sun, the cliffs cast long shadows over the brittle bones of a once prosperous civilization. Now, only the nomads roamed. Commander Elias' train had wandered far from the colony's limits that day. Not for war, not for scouting, but for silence. He had survived battles that razed continents, buried friends on nameless planets, and retired to this wasteland for the peace it offered, or at least the absence of noise, until he heard her scream. It wasn't the scream of pain. It was guttural, wild, desperate. Elias froze, hand instinctively reaching for the plasma sidearm holstered beneath his cloak. His boots crunched over the brittle surface as he followed the sound to a narrow ravine, hidden among towering red rock spires. There, in the swirling dust, knelt a woman. Not human. She had ash-blonde hair, braided and threaded with bones. Her skin was a pale lavender, glowing faintly in the sunlight. Jagged tattoos marked her arms, tribal, ceremonial. Her clothes were torn hide, adorned with beads and metal rings. Her violet eyes locked onto him as he approached, and she whispered in a trembling voice, "Breed me, or banish me." Elias blinked, unsure if he heard her right. She didn't say it with lust. There was no seduction in her tone. It was sorrow, like the last flicker of hope before an eternal cold. He said nothing, just stared at her as the wind howled past. The alien woman dropped her gaze. "I have been cast out from the tribe. My season has begun. If no male claims me, my bloodline ends. I am unbound. I am nothing." Her shoulders shook. "It is our law. Either one accepts me or leaves me to die." Elias didn't move for several long seconds. He didn't understand her customs. He didn't care. But something about her, maybe the way she didn't beg, maybe the scars on her arms, felt familiar. Quietly, he removed his cloak and draped it over her trembling form. "You're not dying today." She looked up, eyes wide. "You accept me?" "I accept that no one deserves to die alone in the dust." Her name was Cara, but he called her Cara. It was easier on his tongue. She didn't mind. Elias brought her back to the cliffside shelter he had carved into a rock face. Inside, a fusion-powered heater hummed faintly. Metal containers of water and food rations lined the walls. Cara moved like a feral creature at first, cautious, sharp-eyed, defensive. She didn't touch anything without permission. She didn't eat until he did. But slowly, like a wounded animal learning it was safe, she softened. She told him about her people, the Vekri nomads, a matrilineal race spread across the desert moons. Every Vekri woman went through the binding season, when her genes signaled peak fertility. If a mate wasn't chosen or found, she was exiled, her bloodline erased from memory. "Cruel law," Elias said once. "It is old," Cara replied. "It was meant to keep us strong. But now we are fewer. The old ways kill more than they save." Elias didn't offer sympathy. He wasn't good at that. He taught her how to cook human rations, how to trigger the emergency beacon, how to calibrate a solar still. And she taught him how to read the winds, how to sleep beneath sand without suffocating, how to listen for the burrowing beetles that signaled an oncoming quake. They spoke little, but silence became something shared. One night, as the fire glowed between them, Cara looked at him and whispered, "You did not choose to breed me." Elias met her gaze. "I didn't take you in to use you. You were kind when you didn't have to be. That is rare." She hesitated, then added, "Among my people, your action means more than a claim. It means honor. You are unlike any I've known." He looked into her alien eyes and saw not a female in heat, but a soul clawing for dignity in a world that had denied her. He saw himself. Elias stood and walked toward the back room. Before vanishing into the shadows, he said softly, "You're safe here. I promise." Months passed. Cara became something more than a guest. She worked the stills, patched the shelter walls, hunted when food ran low. Her skin grew tough from sun and sand, but her laughter, rare and sudden, lit the cold stone like sunlight. One evening, when a rare desert rain fell, she stepped into the storm barefoot, arms open to the sky. Elias watched her from the shelter, his chest tightening. Not with desire, but with purpose. He realized he didn't want her to leave. Not because she owed him, not because of ancient laws, but because she had become home. That night, as thunder rolled, Cara approached him by the fire. "Elias," she said, voice steady, "my season will end soon. My chance to pass on what I am will fade. But this is not a plea for survival." She knelt in front of him, calm, proud. "I choose you. Not for law, not for desperation. I want my future to begin with you, if you want the same." Elias looked at her. He reached out, gently touched the side of her face. "You were never nothing," he said. "You don't need my name to survive. But if you want to build something here with me, then yes." He leaned forward, rested his forehead against hers. "Yes, Cara, I want the same." The years that followed changed them both. The colony expanded. Other settlers came. The wastelands began to bloom with stubborn greenery. But Elias and Cara stayed in their shelter high above the valley, together. Their child, a daughter with skin like twilight and eyes like storm clouds, ran barefoot across the cliffs, laughing with the wind. She was stronger than both of them and wiser than her years. The first of a new kind. Cara held her daughter close one night and whispered a promise in the Vekari tongue. "You are the proof that love is stronger than law, that exile can become legacy." Elias, standing by the doorway, heard her. He didn't speak. He didn't need to, because actions had always meant more than words. And in this silent land of dust and starlight, they had chosen each other, not out of necessity, but out of something ancient and defiant, something human.